Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Bridge. I'm playing again in the BBO Reddit Weekly. Details on that are in the description if you're interested. But this is an 8-board match points tournament. Played against robots with best hand deal settings. So as usual, I'll just sort of play Bridge and talk about what I'm thinking about. That's the idea. This is a 19 high card point hand. I don't see any reason to do anything other than 1 club, 1 no. There's no reason to upgrade it to 2 no, no reason to downgrade it to 1 no. I would say it's a bad, no, it's an average 19, I guess, because it's 4 triple 3, which is bad, but it has lots of controls, which is good. Maybe a little bit below average, because the spots are also not amazing. 3 clubs, so, I mean, yeah, who knows? This is weak, but not garbage. So, like, 3 no's a reasonable punt. It could work. Oh my god. Partner's hand is enormous. This is why I don't know. 3 clubs showing a hand that could be this good, but also could be a lot worse is a little bit awkward to bid after. So it's not my favorite agreement. Now, as for the contract, I mean, 5 clubs would have been safer. But if 3 no makes, it'll score better. So, because the issue is we have like 1, 2, 3 major suit tricks. We can probably get 5 clubs. If we're very unlucky, we might get only 4. But anyway, that's 8 tricks. So to get my 9th trick, I either need a heart or a diamond. And so the danger is if I lose a diamond to East, and East can put a heart through, and I misguess the hearts, or it's impossible to guess them right. And the hearts are 5-3, or worse, then the opponents might take a diamond and 4 or more hearts. But most of the time, that won't all go that wrong. So, I mean, I think 3 no is the place I'd like to be. It's just, it might go down. At Imps, you would want to play 5 clubs, I think, right? Yeah. Very difficult to go down in that. You need clubs 4-0 offside or them taking an early diamond ruff or something to even be in danger. We don't duck this because we want to preserve the Jack 9 over East's possible 10. Now, one thing you could consider is, do you run the clubs first? It puts some discard pressure on the opponents, and they might feel pressured to pitch a heart, which could be, like, if West pitches a heart, that could be a trick for the defense. But probably they'll feel comfortable enough pitching diamonds, because none of them have any relevant spots, or intermediates, except perhaps 10-4th. So probably they would find a pitch comfortably enough. And if they did, like the danger is then, let's say the diamonds are, like, let's say the hearts aren't a problem. West has the ace of diamonds, so we're not in danger. If I've cashed all the clubs, I have no re-entry to Dummy's long diamond if they duck appropriately. Like if the suit is 3-3, right? I guess I could at least test the clubs. Cross to the ace once. Sure. Confirming that they're coming in. This also, funny enough, would never work on a human, this idea I'm about to explain, but a robot may see, the ace of clubs is gone. And now, like, if East gets in on a diamond, suddenly a club looks a little bit more appealing to him because he thinks, partner may have the king of clubs. Now, I mean, I don't think that's super likely to work, but it could happen. It puts a shadow of a doubt in East's mind. A human would never believe that, because Declare would not play this way not holding the king of clubs. Why cross the ace of clubs like this? But, I don't know. Against an opponent who's a robot, you may as well take your chances. All right, East had the ace and is returning a heart, I assume? Yeah, okay. But he has the 10, so we're fine. If he had returned low, I was putting in the 9 because even if West did like trick me at trick one, fool me by playing the king from King Queen X, then the suit is blocked when I get it wrong. So only if East has King Queen XX and found the king play is it important to go up with the jack there. And even in that case, we're still making 3-0. We're just missing the over tricks I could have gotten. All right, so we had a decent score, 70% on that last one. Here, 2 spades. I don't think they would send you to jail for bidding 3 clubs, but I don't think you should. Too much of your hand strength is wrapped up in the spade suit. Your clubs are fine, but not great. It's unfavorable. If partner can't act over 2 spades, we probably do not want to be declaring this hand. Because he's like short, right? 6 here, I have 4. Like these guys have only 3 between them. If partner, short in spades, can't find a bid, I'd rather just stay out of it. And we're rewarded here, I think. West seems to have a good hand and spades. I could double this because, hey, it seems like it's probably going to go down. But I don't know that. You know, it's best hand, so the fact that I have 13 points means nobody else has more than 13. Maybe that's worth thinking about, actually. Because East really can't have more than, like, 11. I would be opening 1 spade with an 11 count. Okay, Gibbs says 10. So let's say East has 10 and West has 13, the most he could possibly have. That's 23. My 15... Nope, my 13 is 36. So partner has at least 4 points. So there's some idea that, hey, maybe we could get another trick somewhere. We know we have 2 spades. I think we know we have 3, actually. Well, no. If West has Jack third and East starts by leading low to the Jack, we have to pop King. And then he'll find out about the bad split and lead low to the Jack again, and we have to pop Queen, and then the Jack Ace bring down the 10. So we might take only 2 spades. We might take no clubs. Maybe partner has a trick. Like, you know. I think it would be a terrible... Well, I was going to say it'd be a terrible double of imps. I think that's true, because we're definitely not getting rich. Like, how good is partner's hand? Partner seems to have a spade void. I don't see West bidding 4 spades with fewer than 3, and he can't have more than 3. So partner has a spade void, but could not double 4 spades. So his hand can't be all that good. Even with like a 10 count, I think you should get involved at that point. Well, you know, West could have running hearts. East could have a club stiff. And, like, you know... Plus, I think doubling increases, like, the chances that Declare will get the 4-0 spades for just 1 loser if West does have the Jack. I think you pass here. I wouldn't be upset with somebody who doubled. Oh, I have to lead. Well, that's easy. Okay, so it's going down. Unless I get end played. Because I have 3 spade tricks if... Yeah, okay. Now I can't be end played anymore. Okay, partner has pretty good hearts, it looks like. Yeah, so I missed out on some points by not doubling. Wow, partner has a good hand. I think you... Unfavorable, it's pretty tough to come in here, I guess. Like, you could double... Which would be takeout, of course. Although, maybe Gib plays it as penalty, actually. So, like, one of my hobby horses is this concept of, like, double is takeout through blank. You know, that's a spot on the ACBL convention card. Like, our doubles are takeout through 4 hearts is like a semi-common agreement. Where, like, if the opponents open 4 hearts and you double, it's takeout, presumably hoping you get to 4 spades. But if opponents open 4 spades and you double, it's penalty. I don't really subscribe. Not only do I not think 4 hearts is the right level to choose, some people choose 4 spades. I don't think there is a right level to choose. I think the idea of splitting it up is incorrect. I think your doubles should just be takeout. And the higher level the opponent's bid is, the more you need strength rather than shape to double, and the more likely partner is to convert a takeout double into penalty by passing it. I don't know that this is, like, the best idea I have in all of Bridge. You know, I'm sure there are problems with my approach. But, like, this concept that if they preempt in spades, you can't compete to the 5 level doesn't make any sense to me. You know, maybe you should play doubles of 6 hearts opening bids are penalty, but those don't happen. Nobody does that. And if they do, like, are you sure penalty is what you want? You might want, like, gosh, partner, I have a quite good hand and very short hearts, obviously. It's not like you're going to have a heart stack. So, I don't know. Anyway, just a little digression on what partner's double here means. For me, this double would be takeout if North made it, and I don't know how comfortable I would be doing it as North. It's a good hand, but double doesn't describe it very well. 5 hearts is way too committal. You know, partner didn't act over 2 spades, so maybe he's not all that strong, and you just have to let him have 4 spades. I mean, West's raised to 4 spades kind of got us. And it's hard to blame partner for not acting, even though he is the one short in spades. I could have doubled 4 spades. I think that would be better than bidding 3 clubs over 2 spades. But I don't think it's, like, a mandatory double. I don't think I made a mistake by passing. It might have been a misjudgment, but it wasn't, like, a clear error. And I'm not sure even that it was a misjudgment. It just doesn't happen to work on this board. That's the one thing I can say for sure. Do we play anything about what this says about hearts? I don't think so, right? This just shows a spade fit, doesn't show a heart stop. Might or might not have a heart stop. Righty has hearts and diamonds? I mean, I assume I can double to show... No, it's takeout, huh? I would have thought it would be diamonds, but okay. It's weird to say takeout when we already have a fit. I don't know. I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense. As, like, I have so few diamonds, I'd like to compete. You already know I have spades, so take it up spades if you don't want to defend. Sure. That's not the hand I have, but it's a plausible agreement you could have. All right, I mean, partner's heard my whole hand. He knows I have 15 to 17 balanced with 3 spades. I don't have anything extra besides the heart doubleton. There's no reason for me to keep bidding here. Nice hand, East. I'd like to draw trump, I think. Feels a little bad to be leading into the ace-queen, of course. Now I do have to cash the club here because West has the queen of spades. We don't want to let them pitch their club loser. Hey, we did it. Got partner rough. I'll take it. And now I have a diamond winner as well, right? Declares out of diamonds? And hearts? Yeah. So I think leading hearts was the right idea, right? You do have to do that or it doesn't work. It says a club is fine. Yes, that's true. You could cash the ace of clubs earlier if you wanted. But you do have to lead trumps. Let's go look at this in... What? But the cards are... Oh, I see. You're saying you can only... I can only click this button if we're at the start of the hand. I see. Interesting. Okay. I don't know how this website captures data from BBO. Okay, so we're saying West hearts. If it goes spade, that's a heart. Spade to the king and low. Ace of clubs. You must now play a heart, right? Yes, and it can't be the 9. Really? I guess there's some layout where you end up over-roughing dummy in spades? Huh. Okay. Well, that's cool. Sorry, it's... My capture is not set up to capture... to do a good job at seeing everything on this page, so sometimes I'm over like this and you can't quite see everything. Oh well. Okay, so good. 88% for making normal bids and defending, I would say, well. I mean, not like a genius level play or anything, but found the right plan. 21 points. I think opening 2-0 is the obvious straightforward choice. You could argue there's a bunch of aces and kings. Maybe you could upgrade this to your 22 to 24 range, but I don't see any compelling reason to actually do that. Well, we have 2 tricks in every suit but hearts quite easily. We can set up 1 heart. That would be 7 tricks. We could set up a 3rd round diamond. That would be 8, assuming I had time to do both of those things. Nine is a bit of a tall order. And I don't really have any entries to dummy outside... Well, I guess the diamonds eventually. Well, let's see who has the king of spades. It's West. Okay. So... I think that I should use this dummy entry to lead a diamond to the 9. Not because it's super likely to get me an extra diamond trick. Like, okay, it is. Assuming diamonds are 3-2, losing a diamond gives me the 4th round of diamonds. So in that, yes, it is giving me a trick. The finesse is not that important for making a trick, but it is important for timing because it keeps East from winning the diamond. And West can't lead spades. So if I play a diamond to the 9, West wins, let's say plays a club, or a heart, I don't know. I still have time to set up another trick that way. It's still only 8, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So I'll have to get like a 3rd diamond and a heart and a club. Or maybe 2 hearts somehow? Or maybe West gets impatient and leads the spade anyway. Okay, so I guess in this sense, maybe I should have led the 8. This is interesting news. Because now I'm not in dummy to repeat the finesse. It turns out the diamond layout is actually so favorable that I could have taken 4 diamond tricks if I had enough dummy entries. But I suppose, like, let's say I did lead the 8. East just covers with the jack, and... Well, okay, first of all, the diamonds could be 3-2, in which case I've now taken all 4 diamond tricks. A great coup for the way I played it. But I think East would have probably split? I don't know about that. But if East has all 4 diamonds, like leading the 10, or the 8, equivalently, to stay in dummy so I can keep finessing is sort of important, right? But East could just cover, and then I don't really have a way back to dummy to repeat the finesse. So I'd probably only be getting 3 diamond tricks anyway, and this way I got 3 diamond tricks without spending a tempo, so I don't think this is so bad. And if I'm really lucky, maybe the diamonds are 3-2 and East failed to split. I mean, I guess splitting wouldn't... Well, okay, so the other thing is, East probably, I think the way this diamond suit played out, indicates East is unlikely to have the ace of hearts. Because if holding the ace of hearts, East would think, look, this guy has no way back to dummy to repeat the diamond finesse, so I may as well split to make sure he doesn't finesse the 9 if he has it. Whereas if East lacks the ace of hearts, he may be afraid to split, thinking he'll put in the queen, and, you know, then I'll cross back to dummy with the king of hearts and finesse him again. Whereas, maybe, for all East knows, maybe West had the 9 of diamonds, and splitting actually costs them a trick in that layout. But if he has the ace of hearts, I think it's safe enough for him to split. So, I think West probably has the ace of hearts. So I'd like to lead a heart now. Hello? Alright, East had it. Well, can't be right all the time. I don't think there's a good reason to play the ace here. But it could be that the Jack of Spades is useful as an exit card in some ending, maybe. Maybe I should have tested the diamonds first. The Jack of Spades is also useful as a threat card in like a strip squeeze, maybe. I don't think there's much I could actually strip squeeze, but maybe if West had all 4 clubs. No, there are 6 clubs out there, but if he was the only one with more than 2 clubs, i.e. he had at least 4, then on the run of the red suits, he might come under some pressure. Like, no, I don't think that's true. Even if the diamonds come in, he can't be under enough pressure. I don't think it can be an important exit card. Yeah, I think it's best to just lose the spade now. to lower my loser count in case there's some kind of throw-in ending. Oh, really? Afraid to continue spades. What does that tell me? Okay. So now East is end playable in diamonds if he has appropriate holdings in the other suits, right? He can't afford to lead away from the queen. He has queen 7 remaining, right? So leading low, I run it to the 8, lead the queen, I capture the ace and cash the 8. So for that to work, I would need East to have like 4 clubs. Okay, it doesn't look like that is necessarily happening. Well, would East really have pitched a club from queen 3rd here? He unblocked the queen, indicating like he doesn't want to win. But then he played the 5. I think if he had the queen and jack, I think he'd be unblocking maybe both of them. No, he couldn't after the 10 is played, right? Because my 8 is then big enough. So East has a club and 2 diamonds and a card. I haven't paid enough attention to the other suits to know necessarily what that other card is. Well, sorry. East might not have a club. It may be that West has the last one. I think probably he does. And if I just play a club here, like that's the only line that could possibly make the contract. If East has the last club and his other card isn't an entry to West. But I think East must have the 10 of spades in there somewhere, right? Or else West would have been happy to continue. So, well, but the 10 of spades isn't an entry. If East had 10 of spades, Jack of clubs, Queen 7 of diamonds, playing a club here would get him. What would that leave West with, and is it consistent with his play? I didn't really watch the pitches carefully enough, sadly. I know... I remember somebody pitched a spade at some point, and I think there's only been one discard, right? So West must have... No, wait a minute. East pitched on something. Didn't he? No, he just unblocked in clubs. No, someone pitched a club. There's only one left. It wasn't a spade. So that must have been what West pitched on the diamond. There's no other opportunities to pitch, unless the hearts were 5-1 and I didn't notice. I don't think that's true. So West pitched... No, East. East is the one who pitched a club. Didn't he? He did. He pitched a club, then he played the queen under the king, and then he played the 5. And the only thing he could have pitched a club on would have been a spade or a heart, both of which would have been... I mean, he was very short in that suit. How did I miss that? No, maybe East only played Queen X and West pitched the club. Yeah, I'm too confused about what happened. I'm just going to cash out, I guess, for down one. And then go look at the hand. Oh, I could have got him! Yeah, the spades were 7-2, and I didn't notice. Because it was like, it didn't... I thought I remembered East pitching a club, but I didn't remember spades breaking badly, but what else could he have pitched on? Yeah, so... I had him right here if I play a club. Whoops. Still, okay, 84%. Good. So that was another reason that I decided to take a less risky line that I was thinking about but forgot to mention, is that it kind of felt like I was ahead of the field already, having stolen a diamond trick. So don't risk any heroics to improve your score even more. You might plummet back to a disaster when you already had a decent result in hand. So if I had known West had 7 spades, which I should have known, I still don't think I know enough to know what's happening here. Because swap the Jack and 10 of hearts, and it's a disaster to exit with a club. I get no tricks. Right? And that seems like a totally possible layout. And in fact, if East was diligent in unblocking the first club, but then realized he couldn't anymore, if East had been as diligent here and unblocked the Jack of Hearts, see? He can beat me. Obviously, they did beat me anyway, but that relied on me misreading the cards. If East had read the cards perfectly, he could have prevented me from being in a situation where I could make it. Kind of a neat hand. I mean, we just bid 4 spades here, right? It might make, it might not. They might overcompete. They might compete and it's actually their hand anyway. I mean, I'm not going to double anything. Except maybe 5 hearts. But I don't think they're bidding. Partner, you have 8 spades. We have a decent shot at a slam here. What's the right approach? Obviously, the diamond finesse stands out as, like, that could be worth a trick. But you could also, on some layouts, like, strip the hearts and then play ace, king, and a small club and end play West into leading away from the king of diamonds, maybe? If West is forced to win the 3rd club. You can also, like... You can play a heart diamond squeeze if you want. Since East is known to have the ace and king of hearts, if he has the king of diamonds as well, he'll be squeezed, right? But that's just squeezing him so, like, out of a finesse that you could have taken anyway. So, I guess if East has the king of diamonds, you can finesse it. If West has the king of diamonds, there should be a double squeeze around clubs, right? Where North's 6 of clubs gets established. Oh, East did double 3 spades. That's true. So he's likely to have most of the outstanding points. So maybe we just take the diamond finesse. And then if that works, then you can look at squeeze options for a 13th trick, like a double squeeze around diamonds. If... would that work? If East has the heart guard and also 5 clubs, which is possible, then West would be guarding only diamonds. So that doesn't make sense. So if West had 5 clubs, that would work. But that's not possible based on the double. So if the diamond finesse wins, I don't think you have much of a play for a 13th trick, except maybe roughing out ace king 4th of hearts, but 3rd of hearts, I mean. But I don't think West would be silent here with 6 hearts, even if they are small. At favorable, I think you should just save. So after the diamond finesse, I don't think there's anything too smart you can do. Well, if East has 5 clubs, then you can squeeze him in hearts and clubs after you take the diamond finesse? Sure. That's something, I guess. Make sure to ruff with a middle spot here. The 3 and the 2 are useful as ways to, like, if dummies 4 of spades is ever needed as an entry. We have plenty of spots. We don't need to keep these. And I think we can just take the finesse now. There's no rush to draw trumps. Nothing is getting roughed on the first or second round. Good. Now we can lead a heart. I mean, we may as well see. Maybe West does have 6 hearts and East has ace king x. It's free to look. Okay, the spades were 1-1. King doesn't fall, or ace, excuse me, doesn't fall. So the club heart squeeze, if East is like 1, 4, 3, 5, which is unlikely, obviously, but I think it's the only way I could take another trick. Well, that I could take one more than the 12 I'm already booked for. I just need to cash all the spades and rough... roughing the diamond is fine. It's not important. But it is actually, because no, it's not. I can cash all the spades first. And then maybe they'll make some mistake. I should count the clubs. This is the first club pitch, isn't it? I guess I don't actually have to. I just have to notice the ace of hearts. But diamond pitches could be important. let's get real, they're not going to be, but... It's 2 diamond pitches. 3? 3 diamond pitches. So we had 5, they had 8. They've played 2 is 6. They've pitched 3. There's still 3 diamonds left. I now have to rough the diamond. I sort of think I messed up my entries somewhere along the way. It would be better if I'd cashed the diamond sooner, because then I wouldn't have to rough the 2, and it could hang around as a threat in some weird possible edge cases. But it wasn't going to be a useful threat. So East has now had to pitch down to only 2 clubs, but West still has 3, so it's not going to work. Huh. Didn't, no, that's not important. I was thinking the fact that the 7 was underplayed under the 8 had some importance, but it doesn't. East still had the 10. Yeah. There's nothing I can actually do, right? Okay, it says I can... No. Yeah, 3 overtricks. It says I had all of them. Alright, explain it, bozo. Like, what am I missing here? Oh, of course! Oh, it's my favorite kind of squeeze, because it feels like everybody stopped right before that chapter when they were reading Bridge Squeeze is Complete by Clyde Love. There's a compound squeeze against East. Well, around hearts, I guess I should say. I don't know why I didn't even look for one of those. They're rarer than double squeezes, but yeah, of course. Even if diamonds and clubs are both doubly guarded. If you have entries accompanying the threats in both of those suits, and the third suit, which is singly guarded, the guard is in front of the threat. So here, the Ace of Hearts was in front of the Queen of Hearts. If your entries are good enough, you can force East to discard his guard in one of the 2 doubly guarded suits, either diamonds or clubs. And then you have a double squeeze around the other doubly guarded suit. This is a bummer to get wrong. Like, I know the pros, get this. I'm not saying I'm the only person in the world who, knows a compound squeeze exists. But when you talk to people who know about squeezes, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, sure, I tried to play for the squeeze. They can execute simple squeezes. Same thing with double squeezes, usually. But there's, a gap where you tell them, oh, there was a compound squeeze there, and they're like, I don't understand. Of course, there are people out there who would say, yeah, you're right. And one of my smuggest bridge memories was when I was living in San Francisco, which was only for a year. I played at the bridge club there against, a mixed field. There were some good players and some bad players. But there was one quite good player that I was playing against on that particular day who showed up sometimes. Ron Smith. I'll dox him. You can look him up if you want. And I don't remember the hand at all. But I do remember in the ending, I had been studying squeezes not too long previously. It probably still was. And there was a compound squeeze that I knew would work in the same way that I should have known it would work here. And I was playing against Ron Smith, and he was the guy who was being squeezed the most. I don't know who his partner was. It must have been somebody who I regarded as a good player. But I was like, this is great. This is the only chance in my whole life I'm ever going to have to say, oh, I claim I'm going to execute the compound squeeze. And, right? Like, because, okay, you can do that at any level. But if the opponents aren't strong enough players to understand what you're saying, it's going to be a lot of work to adjudicate the claim, and it's just better to play it out. But against Ron Smith and whoever his partner was on that day, I said, here's my hand, I'm going to do the compound squeeze around hearts. And they were like, yeah, okay, you got us. I was very pleased with that. I missed one today. I guess I should show you how it would look. So I think it's fine to finesse the diamond here, right? Like, not mandatory, but fine? Yes. We have to leave the clubs untouched, probably. Well, it did just say that, but I think for longer. Now a diamond would be wrong. A heart would be fine. A spade would be fine. How would a club be? Probably wrong. The club threat has to be in the north hand. I need to retain entry. Yeah, I don't think I can afford to cast the king or ace of clubs. I need the ace as an entry to the club threat, and the king as an entry to the queen of hearts before crossing back to the ace of clubs. So we just have to optionally ruff a heart and then play some spades, right? Yeah. So we ruffed a heart. Spade is the only play right now. You can ruff a heart. Why not? You can't ruff a heart. Huh. Is this a compound trump squeeze? It must be. Because otherwise, I think you could afford to ruff the heart here. Well, okay, so let's play this out. I thought it would be fine to ruff a heart. Let's see why that doesn't work. And at this point, I would just cash all of the spades. West doesn't need their hearts. Well, at least all but one of the spades. East can't pitch a heart. Doesn't want to pitch a club. Diamond pitch is fine. West doesn't need the heart. Now the second to last spade. Now this is still making only 6, right? I haven't misdefended for the opponents? Correct. So it's saying East can afford to give up diamonds here for some reason. Because since he's given up diamonds, well, wait a minute. What I have to do is cash the ace of diamonds and then get back to the north hand to cash the last spade. But I also have to find a pitch from south, which can't be a diamond or a heart. So it has to be a club. But that seems okay. Right? I mean, so I pitch a club. West can afford a diamond. Now, if I play another spade now, East still isn't squeezed. He can just throw away the last diamond. And then dummy will be squeezed before West is. Either give up the diamond threat or the club entry. And if I play a diamond to the ace, I either have to unblock the clubs and cross in clubs, ruining my club entry, or ruff a red suit threat. So I guess the point is that I need this heart ruff as an entry to the north hand, which I think I said when I saw that it said you can't ruff a heart here. That must be why, but I couldn't see the details. So the point is you need a ruff back to the north hand. I think that makes this a compound trump squeeze. Because if there was no trump suit, you couldn't do this. You can't make 7 no trump. Even if you could forbid East from cashing the ace king of hearts. Because you need to be able to ruff a heart to the north hand, I guess. Huh. Okay, so anyway, here's what it would look like if you actually did things in that order. East still has to keep 2 hearts. He only needs 3 clubs, so you can pitch 1. West doesn't need the 3rd diamond. And dummy and East both have 1 heart more than they did before, so East is still just as squeezed. He can't keep... If he pitches a heart, I'll cross the dummy and rough out the ace of hearts. So he has to pitch a diamond here. Or a club. I mean, double dummy, of course. It'll say neither of them. Nothing is any good. But a heart is obviously fatal, whereas a minor suit gives me a problem. So let's say he gives up a diamond. We still have to pitch a club. I guess it's a little cleaner to pitch the 8, just in case something weird happens somehow. And West doesn't want to give up the guard in clubs or diamonds. And his Jack of Hearts isn't actually pulling any weight, so he can pitch a heart. But now on the second to last spade, East is really in trouble. Well, no, wait a minute. No, he's not. He can just pitch another diamond. He's already given up diamonds. Might as well throw another. And at this point... No, this isn't right. This isn't right. That's not going to work. Yeah, you can't play a spade here. Very tricky. Now that East has given up diamonds... What? Oh, yeah, okay. This is so weird. I'm glad I'm looking at this. Normally in a compound squeeze, you cash all but the last card of the free suit, which is, in this case, trumps. And on the second to last free winner, East is squeezed. Here, East got squeezed earlier than that, because we're sort of planning to use one of these hearts as a spade trick, in a way. So only when I This is so weird. So we do this. And we ruff the heart. And now we've created, I guess, what is a simultaneous double squeeze? This is not part of the terminology that Clyde Love uses, but it was established before then, and many people still do. I mean, it's an important... I mean, Clyde categorized squeezes more in the way that you play them and less in like the way they manifest on the final tricks. But here, on the spade, both opponents are squeezed on the same trick, hence it's called simultaneous. East can't pitch a heart, or the queen is established, so he pitches a club. Now you don't need the heart anymore. And West is squeezed because he's the only one guarding both diamonds and clubs. If he pitches a diamond, your 2 is good. If he pitches a club, then you play a club to the king and a club back to the ace, and the 6 is finally good. So that was the cool line. I would have, I think, gotten it wrong, even if I'd recognized the compound squeeze, because I did not anticipate, or I did not appreciate the delicate entry thing of having to cash all but 2 of the trumps and then ruff a heart as the entry. I think that hand took me as long as the rest of the session so far. I've been spending like 11 minutes per board on average, but I think I spent 20 minutes on that board at least. Very interesting hand. Oh, and this is the Reddit Weekly, so I can talk to the other guys who are actually in it about this hand, as opposed to just like, oh, 1 in 200 of the people who played in the Big Day Long also played this hand. There'll be people I know who played the same hand, and I can see if anybody figured out the genius levels plays. We clearly have a double here, right? Yes. I'm doubling again. My hand is great, and I'd like to play anything but diamonds, please. Fine. I will not raise. Partner's clearly not happy about this. Wow! Look at those clubs! And spades. So, how bad would 4-1 spades be here? I think it's fine, because I can just cash 2 spades and then switch to clubs, and they're not in a position to tap me with a diamond, because dummy will still have a trump. Now, you could try to protect against 5-0 spades, but that's very dangerous and risks over tricks in more likely scenarios. I think you rough this, cash 2 spades. Okay. Assuming this jack is singleton, East's remaining spades are 10, 8, 5. So if you had enough entries and you were sure this is singleton, you could finesse, lead the 9 covered, and then 4 to the 7, finessing the 8. But I don't have enough entries. And I'm not sure the suit is 4-1. So if East was dealt 4 spades, which I think is likely, then he's going to get a trick. But that's life. Oh, okay. Great. That's super great, actually, because now not only is the suit splitting, but the 9 of spades is an entry, so I can take the club finesse if I want. West has a good hand, but he doesn't have to have every king. East could have 1. The ace might drop the stiff king, but I mean, is West going to have 2 spades only and a stiff club? That would be 10 red cards? He has at least 6 diamonds. That would give East... well, 4 hearts. I guess that doesn't tell me too much. Well, West probably doesn't have 4 hearts, right? Certainly not 5. Because I think with 4 hearts, maybe West would be redoubling instead of bidding 3 diamonds. So maybe East has 5 hearts, 3 spades. At least a couple diamonds. I think East has... East has at least 2 clubs, but I guess that does mean dropping the king might work in clubs. I'm going to take the finesse all the same. As I say, East could have a card. And he did have a king, but not that one. And it turns out the king dropped. Unlucky. That's probably going to score badly, because we didn't bid a game that we made, and I didn't take a trick that I could have. And the field may not have even noticed that the club finesse was available because they didn't notice the 10 jack of spades fall. Yeah. Nice diamonds. 8 solid. Wow. But I see you don't want to push to the 4 level when your partner might have absolutely nothing. And in fact, if we doubled 4 diamonds, we would get 200 from it. 2 spades, a heart, and a club. We got 200 from 3 spades also, so I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world. This is 21 points, another 2-0. We have 4 spades, a heart, and 2 diamonds. That's 7. Gonna need some clubs. I think given that I have relatively poor entries, I should just be leading these from the south hand towards the jack. Well, towards the jack 9. And I think you're supposed to play the jack in that situation. Low to the 9, I mean, it works if West has 10x or something like that. Or Queen 10x. No, because then Jack is fine. Ace 10x. Yeah, I'm not so good at analyzing this kind of suit. I'm just going to play low to the jack and hope it's the right thing to do. I don't want to cash the spades first, and that may give the opponents a chance to figure out what they should lead. Also, I don't want to pitch anything from dummy. Here's hoping they don't find the heart switch, and if they do, it's not a disaster. Here's also hoping it's not a disaster. Okay. We like a diamond. So, if the clubs are... Oops. Sorry, I knocked something plastic over. If the clubs are 3-2, it doesn't matter what I do now. Except, I guess there's some edge case red suit squeeze that's just never going to happen. If the clubs are 4-1... I need to guess who has 4. Because I can pick up the suit for just one more loser if I can guess it correctly. I don't have any clear indications of what to do, like... I guess we could say that West led... No, that doesn't mean anything. I'll just play the King of Diamonds, preserving an entry to the diamond threat in the bizarro world where that could ever matter. Okay, there's the 10. So low to the jack was the line in clubs. Even if West hadn't split with the or hopped with the queen. If West had played low, you have to play the jack, not the 9, obviously, since the 10 was over here. I guess you'd still have a chance to recover because you could bang down the king on the next round, but there's no reason you should know that. Opponents have 3 diamonds left. Of course no squeeze is going to develop, but you should at least pay a little attention to that. They only have 1 heart left, so I've set up dummy's hearts. But alas, it's not cashable. What does suit play say about that, actually? About that club suit? Jack, 9-8-7, opposite king, 5-4, 4-3-2. They were all very small. I think I actually had the 5, like it was 5-4-3. I can't imagine that matters. It says... Uh-oh. It says run the 8 at trick 1, huh? Okay, well maybe I should mention that I don't have many dummy entries. I have 1. And even that isn't really true, because I can't be there on trick for the first lead. But it's saying you should lead, you should spend that entry right away. But the problem is this doesn't really capture my actual situation, where I can get to dummy later, but I can't really do it right now. So I guess I'm not going to learn... I'm not going to learn why, with unlimited entries, running the 9 is right. That's too complicated for me. It's just another... I'm reasonably okay at retaining some suit combinations, but not. That's one of the ones that I can't get. Just open a spade here. How'd the field do, I think? It's normal. Okay. No reason to keep bidding here. Okay. Partner wants to. That's fine with me. Partner doesn't have any clubs. Partner has a source of tricks in diamonds. Huh. Tough to establish those, though. And still cash them. Because if you draw a trump, they'll run a bunch of clubs. But if you take club ruffs, you don't really have entries to diamonds. I mean, I'm pretty sure you play the queen at trick 1. That's an entry. It's also potentially a third heart trick. Because West might be leading from 10-9x. It really shouldn't be from 10x, right? Because East would then have a 6-card heart suit and would have preempted at the 2 level. So I think actually the hearts are coming in for 3 tricks. So the question is, at this point, do you lead a spade or a club? Do you believe you can retain trump control and actually cash a bunch of diamonds? Or do you think you just need to get the ruffs while you can? I don't think you can get very many ruffs. And I also want to use my hand entries to lead hearts. Right, finesse the 9. So I think I'm just going to draw trump. It could be a disaster, but it might be fine. Okay, they think they should be tapping the dummy. That's exciting. I'm not leading another trump now, because if that suit doesn't come in, they can run a couple clubs. I don't think East has the king of diamonds, right? He had the ace of spades and the king of hearts and passed, and West overcalled. West kind of has to have this. I think you can afford to ruff with the 10 here. Because if the suit is... the only way you could need the 10 and 9 is to force out the jack if the suit is 4-1. Like you win, let's say the 6 wins here. Then queen of spades, oh no, there are 2 spades out, jack and 1. You play the 10 to force out the jack, and now the 9 is a winner, but it doesn't matter because they tap you. So you may as well use your extra power now, just in case West is out of hearts but doesn't have the jack. Okay. Oh, the 8's still a winner. Okay. You didn't have to finesse, it was dropping. Well, they get a spade and a club. Not much I can do about that. Joke's on them, though. I get a beer. I think I could have taken more tricks here. I mean, obviously, I could have... if I knew the spade position... Well... I guess there's not really any time where I can actually finesse East Jack of Spades, because I haven't set up the diamonds yet. Like, I could have done it and not lost a spade, but then I lose 1 additional club. It evens out. It says I have an overtrick available because they didn't find the trump lead. When did I give up that overtrick? Here. I need to take the heart finesse right away to pitch my club loser. I see. Yes. Because the thing the heart is only worth something if I can use it to pitch a club. I'm not saying I necessarily should have known this at the time, but double dummy, that's true. And maybe I should have known it at the time, but the only claim I'm currently making is that that's why it works now. The problem with taking the spade finesse is that it means I have fewer trumps to rough clubs with. But I can take the heart finesse instead, which gets rid of 1 of my clubs, and still leaves me with a spade to take the spade finesse. Okay. So that would have been better, but I don't know if it... That would have worked better. I don't know if it would have been a better play. Maybe. So a couple good results. You know, nothing too bad. This one, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I did all I could in the auction. Bidding again would be a big overbid, I think. So either the field is overbidding and getting lucky, or they're making more successful plays than I did as declarer. For example, dropping the king of clubs is the main thing I could see that would have been successful. Not realizing you can get to the... Or choosing not to finesse, but I think it's right to finesse. East has more clubs than West, and probably has some cards. One of them might very well be a club. I think it's right to finesse. But this was the highlight for me, this one here. Not my strongest result. Not even my strongest performance, but a cool hand. That I didn't know how to play correctly, even once I saw all the cards. But I should have played at least better. As it turns out, this was still a decent result. I'm not sure why. Are people not bidding for spades? Are they not finessing in diamonds? It's a mystery. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.